but it looks like this is going to carry us all the way through the newscast at this point, and we'll be on the air to keep you updated on that. Not to mention the fact that we have those storms about ready to move into Shelby County within the hour, so we'll be on the air for that more than likely with more severe thunderstorm warnings taking place. Core of the storm again around Osceola, the hardest portion of rain, the best return bouncing back to the radar site. Lighter amounts of rainfall, less signal return bouncing back here. Stronger signal right here, heavier amounts of rain, thicker amounts of rain, more radar signal bounces back to the site. So that's what we're seeing right now. Red on radar doesn't necessarily mean severe. It means that that's where the heaviest amount of rainfall is taking place. And between around Grider and Osceola, the hardest rainfall coming down just south of the Newport Drive area and just west of South County Road 651. This storm, again, has been making its way, looks like just across I-55, and will continue again that direction for right now. Looks like we're getting in some possible new information. I hear the EBS tones going off in the background, so we'll see what that has to offer at this point. But most of what we're looking at for right now, again, in eastern Arkansas, the hardest portion of the storm and the most strongest weather that we are seeing at this time is, again, just about to the Mississippi River and continuing to make its way to the east at about 50 miles per hour or so. So this will be in Tennessee within moments as it goes across the river.
Radar confirmed tornado near Gideon, crossing the I-55 marker near marker 34, 8 miles west of Portageville, moving east at 55 miles per hour. So that is within the Polygon at this point, and so that's why we're tracking this storm as it comes through the Polygon warned area up into now Mississippi County, Arkansas.
Okay. Well, you got the red box on screen, the red polygon that you're seeing behind the storm on Storm Tracker 3S radar. This right here is the tornado warning polygon. This is where the severe thunderstorm is producing the tornado and where the National Weather Service thinks it is going to be going. So it's a little wider at the other end because there's a possibility that the storm could go in either direction. But again, we are watching the area, showing the current warning box, and nothing much of anything else here going across the river into around eastern portions of the viewing area. There is a bit of an uptick right there where it comes to the strength. The purple indicates, again, a lot of rainfall into and around the area of the storm, so we could be seeing a lot of updrafts carrying in a lot more moisture at this time frame, and so that is going to be going across I-55. This line right here is the Mississippi River, so Arkansas over here, Tennessee on this side of things. North of the metro, it is not affecting the Memphis metro area. We've got our own line of storms to worry about that'll be here in about 45 minutes, give or take at this point, and that line goes all the way down to the 555 junction and all the way down to around Earl, Arkansas. New severe thunderstorm warning from what it looks like there.
Yeah, severe thunderstorm warning now for Shelby, Tipton, Crittenden, Cross, Mississippi, and San Francisco counties until 7 o'clock this evening. This is now the Memphis metro area, which is now included in this severe thunderstorm warning. Once again, Shelby, Tipton, Crittenden, Cross, Mississippi, and San Francisco counties are now under this new severe thunderstorm warning. We have the tornado warning to the north. This is across parts of Mississippi County, Arkansas, over into Lauderdale County, Tennessee, and then to the south we have the severe thunderstorm warning, which now includes Memphis and Shelby County. We talked about these storms coming into Memphis around 7 o'clock this evening. That still seems to be the case. Now the timing of these storms, everything depending on the track. The track is eastward at about 50, and some of these storms at 55 miles per hour. They're tracking the tornado to the north of us here up around Mississippi County at 55 miles per hour. These storms tracking east at 50. So now we're talking through the Earl, Arkansas area, just beginning to push into Crittenden County, Arkansas. If you're down in DeSoto County, down into parts of like Helena, West Helena, even Tunica County, you're not under a warning at this time. We're going to continue to monitor you for that potential of severe thunderstorm development in your area, but you're not in the Polygon at this time. If you're here in northwestern parts of Shelby County, Tennessee, you are under a severe thunderstorm warning until 7 o'clock this evening. Tornado warning to the north here that goes, I believe, till 6:45 tonight, but that's the severe thunderstorm warning, the tornado warning until 6:45. We're monitoring this with you on Storm Tracker 3S, the first severe weather outbreak that we've had, the major one here in 2018, as we get closer to those warmer months like March April and May, but February, as Austin mentioned, you go back even to that Super Tuesday tornado back in 2008, which we just celebrated. Well, we didn't celebrate, we observed the 10th anniversary of that, but this severe weather season in the Mid-South knows no particular month. But at this point now, northwestern parts of Crittenden County, Arkansas, getting pummeled by this line of storms coming through, and then Earl will be picking it up shortly, West Memphis. As a matter of fact, Austin, can we do a storm track on these cells as they're coming through now Crittenden County, and we'll show you exactly where they're going to end up here just within the next few minutes. Love to see that storm tracking here because we want you to know where these storms, not only where they are now, but where they're going to be an hour from now, 30 minutes from now, and even in this case, maybe 10 minutes from now. Turl, 9 minutes, 21 minutes to Hughes, 32 minutes to West Memphis, 40 minutes to Millington, and about 51 minutes now to Memphis. So if you live in any of these towns, any of the cities that we have mentioned, be alert that this line of severe storms is heading toward your area, and don't see any big changes coming up that would preclude that from taking place. We are not in the tornado warning here in Memphis and Shelby County, but they are a little bit further to the north. As a matter of fact, we'll at some point erase this storm track and go back up north and point out that storm which is producing the tornado up into Mississippi County and then eventually over into Lauderdale County, Tennessee, because we have completed this track here. Austin is taking that off the screen. Let's go a little bit further north. Boot Hill of Missouri. Now you see the storms coming back down across into southeastern Arkansas. This is the area that of concern for the Polygon here that'll be crossing, this storm crossing the Mississippi River as we speak, basically. Now pushing into the Ashport area and pushing over toward Gates and other areas of Lauderdale County, Tennessee. So if you live in those areas, know that the storm there moving into your vicinity has a radar indicated tornado. We want you to be alert to this situation. Here you see Gates, Ashport. Matter of fact, I'm not giving commands, so I'm asking for favors.
I'll take it as such.
Also, would you mind just zooming into this a little bit closer? Let's look at some of the cities within that polygon, because we've pointed out 2 of the cities, but maybe you live in a smaller area. So Austin will go close here and show you Ashport. There's Ripley. Those Osceola. So these are the 3 big ones that I see, but if we go any closer, I don't know what we'll pick up besides Mississippi River water, but there are a lot of smaller communities out in this area of Lauderdale County, Tennessee. Just be alert as to what's going on. You have this tornado warning until another 25 minutes till 6:45 tonight, and we want you to be alert as to what's going on.
We do have, again, from the National Weather Service, they've canceled the tornado warning just up around the Boot Heel in Missouri, so that's good news. Clay and Dunklin and Pemiscot counties. Clay in Arkansas, Dunklin and Pemiscot for the Boot Heel, no longer under a tornado warning at this time. We do still have considerable sized hail being reported, over 3/4 of an inch. Mississippi County and Lauderdale County could be the possibility of some damaging hail coming down in and around that particular storm. And again, the tornado warning, again, we've had reports of radar detected damage and debris. So there is the possibility that inside of this cell right here, some of the echo that is coming back to the storm, from the storm to the radar, I should say, could be not just rainfall and hail, it could be mixed in with debris up there. And if that's the case, then we probably have had a tornado on the ground, or at least a funnel cloud someplace with this, all the way back to the south and west of where this storm is at. Again, mainly the strongest part of the storm is right over this curl right here, which is the Mississippi River, and now making its way into extreme western Tennessee. This is going to continue to make its way over to the areas east of or west of Ripley, heading to the east, and just around and north of the area of around Covington. So again, this is an active tornado warning, not for the metro, not for southeast Arkansas, nothing going on south of I-40 at this time that we see in the way of severe weather. But we do get, again, some pretty good signatures taking place right into this tornado warned area, into around where the red kind of meets the green at this point. Now, again, they're not terribly impressive, but they are very noticeable at this point, to where we are seeing, again, that turning taking place. Winds moving one direction here, around the other way, and that spin is what Storm Tracker 3S is able to detect. One more thing that we can do with the Doppler radar technology to show you what's going on and how that works out there. So again, we can see the tornadoes when they're way up inside the storm. But we're not going to be seeing, sometimes we're not going to see them because of the low cloud cover or the rain. They could be totally wrapped around by rain. So indoors is going to be your best bet as this signal continues to make its way across the Mississippi River with, again, potential tornadoes right on in through there. And again, mainly just looking at, there could be kind of one or two more of these vortexes setting up somewhere around here as it goes across the river between Osceola and Gilt Edge. So we might not just be seeing one. There might even be a couple of minor tornadoes forming along the periphery. That you don't just get one tornado in some cases, you can get 2, 3, or a lot more depending on what the situation is way up in the atmosphere. But for right now, that leading edge of that storm is again crossing over into West Tennessee, going back to reflectivity at this time right along I-55 at Blytheville all the way down to just north of West Memphis. The line now crossing that highway, and that could make driving difficult, if not very dangerous out there with all the rain. Maybe difficult to see, so definitely want to slow down out there and make sure that you're paying attention to what's going on. If you're just joining us, again, tornado warning has been issued for a portion of the area. We are tracking to see if we're getting any good signatures off of this from Doppler radar, from Storm Tracker 3S. We're just not getting some great ones at this time, but with radar indicated debris from the National Weather Service, looks like we have had some damage at some point in time. We just can't see it on this display. That's where Skywarn spotters and amateur radio operators come in. So again, great opportunity to get out there and serve your community to see what is going on. Now again, for the metro, this is not tornadoes. This is not tornadoes back here. This is where we're watching the tornadoes right in and around this particular area. We may be seeing a possible tornado vortex right there making its way across the Mississippi River. And again, this is going to be the main target zone that we're seeing for the possibility of a tornado warning at this time. If you are in this location, or if you are anywhere, again, west of Ripley, Highway 61, out in that area, I would be in a place of safety. Large buildings, not the place to go to. Smaller construction is going to be your best bet. Lowest floor of whatever house you are on, or a basement if you've got it, or some sort of hardened shelter that you've got, maybe a tornado room repaired, maybe a tornado shelter specifically, because you don't want to be around when that debris starts flying on through. If you're planning on driving pretty soon, you see something ahead of you that may be coming your direction, pull over, get out of the car, the truck, get into a ditch. You may get dirty, you may get wet, but you may be alive, because if you don't want to be inside that vehicle that may toss you all over the place. It looks like we may have another warning possibly being issued here. Or okay, yep. That's the same warning. I'm sorry about that. That's the severe thunderstorm warning, now including parts of western Dyer County. But that tornado warning continues again from Ripley and Gates all the way back into eastern Arkansas at this time. There may be a tornado in the storm in that polygon that you just saw right there. The rest of the area, this large line moving on through, gusty, damaging winds, very heavy amounts of rainfall, lots of lightning. That's not a severe characteristic, but again, it could be possible. And again, we could look at the possibility of damaging winds, so we could begin to see a lot of issues right there. Right to the north of West Memphis,
Austin,
that's where we're seeing again some possible echoes right there, lots of lightning.
Just real quick, severe thunderstorm warning for Lake Lauderdale, Obion counties of Tennessee, and Pemiscot, Missouri, Mississippi County, Arkansas, till 7 o'clock tonight. So also getting a debris signature north of Luxora, and that's diminishing a bit. New circulation northeast of Luxor, Arkansas.
I thought we were looking at the possibility of maybe a couple of different vortexes on here. So again, this is not, it's not that you just wind up with one vortex, one developing tornado, and that's it. You can't have one. You can have a tornado spin off another one. You can have a couple of them happening concurrently. You can have a lot of stuff like that, especially if they are the teeny tiny variety. But keep in mind that those teeny tiny thunderstorms that produce those tornadoes, those smaller tornadoes can still cause damage. And that's why if you're in a mobile home, you need to get to a safer place, because it takes an EF0 or an EF1 to totally demolish a mobile home. So you need to find a safer place to go to, if at all possible. Let's go ahead and get a break from the weather, and let's see what's going on live out in the community for right now. We'll keep the radar up, and on our screen to your left, that's my right, News Channel 3's Troy Washington. It looks like the weather has changed quite a lot since we talked to you last time. Troy.
Yeah. Well, a whole lot. You can see it's really coming down now. We got our windshield wipers working. A lot of people using their emergency lights and slowing down. At one point, we were going about 30 miles per hour, and you can hear it's really loud out here. Now, I'm coming through the Forest City area in Arkansas, and you mentioned that it was going to really be pounding this area pretty hard. We've been seeing a lot of flashes of lightning. We've had to slow down and drive really cautiously. It's really coming down, guys. Earlier there were just ominous clouds, and as you can see, the rain really coming down, really pounding away right now. A lot of flashes of lightning. And as you mentioned, there are some tornado warnings in some areas. So most importantly, we want everyone to be safe. And just in front of us, you can probably see that someone has their emergency lights blinking right there in front of us. So a lot of people are taking their time. They're being cautious. And you can even see the flashes of lightning lighting up the sky here. We'll definitely keep you updated as we continue to move closer to Memphis, as we're hearing that it's headed towards the Memphis area. So we're going to keep following the storm and keep you guys updated. For now, reporting live, I'm Troy Washington, WREG News Channel 3.
All right, Troy, thank you very much, and be careful out there. Stay safe. I'd like to go ahead and give the director a heads up. I'd love to take the West Memphis camera if possible here. I've got that one pointing back toward the northwest. Oh, you can see some of the lightning, yeah, off of Troy's shot. And then this is the camera from West Memphis, Arkansas. Got some really good lightning showing up there as we're looking back toward Interstate 40. That's the junction of Interstate 40 and 55 in that area. So we've got really two areas of lightning. We're seeing one just a little bit further north here, and then back toward the west as well, seeing another area of lightning. So be careful if you're out and about. If you can delay your departure, if you have to travel somewhere this evening, just wait until this line of storms is through. Let's go back to Storm Tracker 3S as we monitor this situation of severe storms across the Memphis and Mid-South area. This is not how I typically spend my weekend. It's not how you typically probably spend yours either. But
no, it's pretty much normal for me, but thank you, though.
Well, but not with severe weather, Austin.
Well, okay,
Not with severe weather. But so we're all in this together. We want to make sure that we keep you and your family safe. Harrisburg, back over toward Jonesboro, and some of these areas, you're looking better because this storm has come through. The storm, as we've mentioned, moving east at about 50 to 55 miles per hour. So it is the worst of the storm has already come through Osceola, even though you're still picking up some heavy amounts of rainfall down toward Joyner along Interstate 55 here, which joins back into 40 in this general area. Here, we're still looking at some heavy amounts of lightning taking place. This is cloud-to-ground lightning, especially around the Earl, Arkansas area, northwestern parts of Crittenden County, Arkansas. Earl's getting pummeled here with some heavy rain, and now that lightning, which is still now approaching the Turl area. If you're in Turl, be careful. This one's coming through. Severe thunderstorms produce winds in excess of 58 miles per hour, 1-inch diameter hail or greater. And, Austin, I'm just kind of wondering about storm reports. If we were to put the storm reports layer on, what we would come up with at this point. Haven't seen a lot of reports. Well, there's
getting a few more.
Yeah, mainly to the north here. But, yeah, thank you, Austin. This is showing wind damage with some of these storms coming through Jonesboro, Arkansas State University. We had that one. Haven't seen a lot of hail reports this evening. This is mainly wind damage, some straight line winds. There's a one hail signature back up around the Walnut Ridge area. But as these storms approach the Memphis and Mid-South area, we'll show you that light poles and trees down in the Truman area and 70-mile-per-hour winds. So once again, these storms certainly meeting the criteria of severe with 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts, and they're now pushing into northwestern parts of Crittenden County, Arkansas, and I hear more coming up here as we're being alerted by the National Weather Service. We don't issue the warnings at News Channel 3. We provide the coverage. We show you because we have a way to reach a larger audience, but when the warnings are issued by the National Weather Service, we pass along those warnings to you because we're all in this together. We're not competition with the National Weather Service. We're a partner with the National Weather Service because we're all in this to keep everyone safe, keep everyone alive and well through situations like this. Here's the tornado watch that goes until 9 o'clock tonight, and so far this is a very well-placed tornado watch. That means that conditions are favorable for tornadoes to develop. Case in point, look at the numerous tornado warnings that are in effect all the way from Missouri down across into Mississippi County, Arkansas, and now even into Lauderdale County, Tennessee.
And also for Dyer County now.
Dyer's
at this time. We have a new tornado warning here. Just issued the one at the top of your screen near our Storm Tracker 3S radar. Severe thunderstorm producing a tornado located over Caruthersville, moving east at I-55. Cottonwood Grove, Ridgely, Cloverdale, and Obion, and then also again the one just to the south of that. It's going to be mainly for northern Dyer County at this point in time, but let me move the information so you can see there's Dyersburg right there.
Just a real small sliver. So this is really north of Dyersburg. So if you're in northwestern part, and I mean extreme northwestern part, Dyer County, Tennessee. It's this area here that we're talking about. This is Dyer County right here, and this is to the north up into Lake and Obion counties, up a little bit further north of us, Lake and Obion counties, and then Dyer County. Just a very small sliver here. Actually in that tornado warning. We have another tornado warning now approaching the Ripley, Tennessee area. This goes until 6:45 tonight. The one a little further north up in Dyer County until 7:15 tonight. So we continue monitoring these storms. And Austin, so far, I'm not hearing any reports of major damage of tornadoes on the ground or anything of that nature so far.
Doesn't appear to be that way. Let's hope it stays that way, because as of right now, that's the last thing we really want to be telling people about. I mean, we will tell you, it's just that it's unfortunate that it happens there. We do still again see the potential for more severe weather taking place at this point. So if you have any plans for outdoors, may want to again keep indoors again for a little bit. Law enforcement around Kaiser, Mississippi, as we just showed you, damage to First Baptist Church in Kaiser. Transformers have been blown, power lines and trees are down. Again, that's in Mississippi County, Arkansas, in the city of Kaiser. We also have new severe thunderstorm warnings being issued for northeast Arkansas, Haywood, and Lauderdale counties in Tennessee, as that storm is going to be going across the river relatively soon. It already is across the river for the most part. Now, also that, and also just wanted to put that, could you put that in motion one more time? And then bring up Shelby County by a bit. This is starting to concern me a little bit here. We're starting to see these little clusters pop up, and anything that usually forms in advance of the main squall line back to the west, right over here. Sometimes in advance of that, that's a kind of a free range area to where you can get a lot of instability taking place. Now, again, I think the rainfall we've had over the last few days has kind of settled the atmosphere down a little bit, but not by much. But these right here, if they develop into something else, one in northwest Shelby County, one up around Atoka, mainly right now it's just rainfall, but I would be watching these very carefully, and the rest of this line as it goes throughout the rest of the evening. As you can see, again, back to the west, that storm line is just about ready to move through Jericho in Arkansas, just to the west of West Memphis. We've already seen some pretty good lightning. There's another decent flare-up taking place of lightning between Earl and Terrell, just south of the 555 junction, and this is where we may see again the potential for some stronger weather making its way into northern portions of Crittenden County, northwest Crittenden County right now, but also seeing again the possibility for more into the mid-south area.
Sorry, that was a bad handoff.
I was never good at relay and track either. Tornado warning has been canceled for Mississippi and Lauderdale County, so that's good news at this point in time. Dyer County still remains under a tornado warning north of the Dyersburg area. We do not have, again, anything to indicate, as Tim said just a few seconds ago, we don't have anything indicating major debris, but we may see, again, more reports coming through. We have had reports from the National Weather Service of airborne debris possibly being detected again by radar in some locations, but that, again, we're going to have to wait and see what goes on there. We have had reports of a church damaged around Kaiser, Arkansas. We'll bring you more about that coming up in just a little bit. Northwestern Crittenden County, again, that's where we're seeing a bit of a problem. Here's that decent signature right back up, and maybe a couple of them as well, right back into and around areas just between Tiptonville, south of New Madrid, and right into northern. Here's Dyersburg. This is Dyer County, Tennessee, the northern limit of our News Channel 3 viewing area. The black line through here, that's the Mississippi River. I-155 into around Dyersburg and right into around somewhere in here. It looks like we're getting some rotation going on, so we could see, again, that is a possible good location for that storm. Tiptonville, Ridgely, I would be very cautious about this. Again, if we have one tornado tonight, we may have several others dancing around the main vortex or striking out on their own someplace. It's possible, but as of right now, we don't have any indication that we have any massive, like major EF4 or EF5 type tornadoes. That in and of itself is good news, but heavy rainfall, Dyersburg, that squall line, almost to your area just west of the city proper, and between Tiptonville and Caruthersville, right along I-155. Heaviest rainfall right now, and northwestern Dyer County, you are under that tornado warning for about the next at least 20 to 30 minutes, as I recall. But that's the strongest part of the storm that we're seeing for right now. And that, at this point, if I'm not mistaken, after I dropped the note so clumsily, that right there is the only tornado warning that we have in effect for the time being.
Okay, Austin, right now it is coming up on 36 minutes after 6 o'clock. You're watching News Channel 3. Austin Onik, Tim Simpson with you here tonight from the Severe Weather Center at News Channel 3. And we appreciate you watching us tonight. Storm Tracker 3S radar is the radar of choice here. It's an S-band radar. It allows us to actually see through these storms. It's one thing to actually see the line of storms itself. It's another thing to be able to see through that line and see what's going on back behind this line of storms, because even though the most awesome part is along that line of strong winds and lightning and even possibly some hail, you can see that even back behind that, they're still picking up some moderate rainfall through Cherry Valley, Arkansas, for example. So that's why we're bringing you the most up-to-date technology with Storm Tracker 3S to keep you and your family safe. Now, what I'd like to do at this point, Austin, if we could do a storm track that shows exactly how fast this storm is moving toward Shelby County, Tennessee. And no offense against anyone living in Mississippi County or Lauderdale County, or if you're where I'm from in Hardeman County, Tennessee, we have a lot of folks living in Shelby County. And because of that, I want to make sure that we give them the big heads up tonight as when this storm is going to be hitting right here in Shelby County. Well, I can tell you that in 7 minutes, it's going to hit Marion, Arkansas, 13 minutes to West Memphis, 31 minutes here to the city of Memphis. So if you're here in the city of Memphis, within the next 30 minutes, we've been talking about 7 o'clock tonight. Well, now we've been 2 minutes before 7. Now we're talking just about 6 or 8 minutes after 7 o'clock. But sometime right around 7 o'clock tonight, this line of storms is going to push right into the heart of the News Channel 3 viewing area, right here in Shelby County, Tennessee. What are you going to see when that happens? You're going to pick up some very heavy amounts of rainfall. You're going to see a lot of cloud-to-ground lightning. You're also going to pick up some very strong and gusty winds. I would not rule out wind gusts on the order of 60 to 70 miles per hour, because that's what we've been tracking with these storms as they've come through Craighead County, Arkansas, up around Jonesboro, and other reports of tree damage and wind damage with these storms. So that's what you expect. Will you see a tornado out of this? These storms have been spawning just some isolated tornadoes. They have been so far radar-indicated tornadoes, and we're not seeing a lot of reports come in from any type of damage from these tornadoes that have been spotted here this evening. And that's the way we want to keep it. So if we're going to pick up any type of severe weather, I hope it's just at the very minimal end as far as any type of wind damage, but you will pick up some brief heavy rain as this system comes through right in the heart of Memphis. 6 minutes Marion, 12 minutes West Memphis, 30 minutes here to the city of Memphis, 43 minutes Germantown, and if you live in Collierville, within the next 54 minutes or so. So that's what we're showing on Storm Tracker 3S. Austin?
Let me jump out of this real quick, because I'm afraid I'm going to have to correct what you said about the storm damage just a few seconds ago.
Awesome.
And it looks like one of those may be a tornado-caused storm. What we're looking at right now is the storm reports, and right around the Osceola area, we've gotten reports right now from the authorities just maybe a little bit less than an hour and a half ago. Roof has been ripped off of a hotel. Considerable damage, time estimated by radar, or just outside, about 3 miles west of Osceola, Arkansas. So we are starting to get reports of what's going on with the potential of damage out there, and this is just one of those for the time being. Pardon me, that was at 6:14 this evening, so less than about a half an hour ago. Damage around Osceola, Arkansas. Hotel roof has been ripped off. Do not go out and sightsee. Let the authorities do their job. Make certain that they have a wide berth so that they can get through and do their jobs, and make certain they get to whoever is injured. Hopefully there's not, but once again, please use caution out there. So once again, we have potential tornado damage in the Mid-South in Osceola, Arkansas so far this evening. Hopefully that's the last that we'll have to report of that for tonight.
Thanks, Austin, very much, and that's why we have the team concept here at News Channel 3. We want to make sure that we work together to keep you informed. That's one indication so far of damage that has been caused by that tornado. Now, that was the very same storm that the National Weather Service had warned. They had a warning out on that storm, the one that went over to Lauderdale County, Tennessee. and Mississippi County, Arkansas. Just a few minutes ago, the National Weather Service dropped that warning. They canceled that warning. So whatever took place with that storm took place earlier this evening, right around 6, I think 6:14 was the time signature that I saw. And so that happened about 30 minutes ago. So it did rip off a roof off of a building there, and quite nicely, according to the description that Austin was reading. Already, this activity is now filling in across parts of not only Tipton County, but into Lauderdale County and up into Dyer County, where just a very small northwestern part of Dyer County, Tennessee, remains under a tornado warning. The worst part of that storm, however, was moving north of Dyersburg, and now here into our area in Shelby County, we're beginning to see some storms pop up here right around the Millington area, just north of Millington, almost on the line here between Shelby County and Tipton County, up around the Munford area. So if you're up here along Highway 14, which is Austin P. Highway, which is a main thoroughfare, you know, the one that's getting widened, going to the 4 lanes here as you get closer to Memphis. Well, along that highway, you're going to pick up some pretty heavy rainfall in the next few minutes or so. These storms are now pushing through the Gilmore area, approaching the West Memphis area, coming into Marion in the next few minutes. And as we mentioned, within the next 30 minutes, going to be here in the Memphis area, sometime between 7, it looks like, and 7:15 tonight, that we'll start picking up these storms in the Memphis area, because they're moving quite rapidly now at about 50 to 55 miles per hour. Noticing this little cell popping up just to the east of Collierville, between Collierville and Moscow. This is right along, actually just along the state line here near Rossville, coming up along Highway 57, which used to be a really heavily traveled highway for folks going from Pickwick back to Memphis, or Memphis to Pickwick. Now they've got Highway 72 and at Area 64. It's not traveled as much, but still tonight it's going to be active along Highway 57 with that cell. To the south, across areas of North Mississippi, mainly light rainfall at this point. You'll start seeing these storms move in the next little bit, but at this point, all the activities north of us are actually north here into the Memphis area, and then you have a few of these storms back around DeWitt and Red Fork, Arkansas, so expect a few more of these warnings to be issued, possibly as this line of storms begins pushing a little bit further toward the east. I'm not seeing quite as much intensity there in the Mariana area with lightning strikes as I am here across parts of Crittenden County, for example. And Austin, anything new that I'm hearing there?
That was a new severe thunderstorm warning for Lauderdale, Tipton, and Haywood counties that's now in effect until 7:30 p.m. Into and around the area for portions of northwestern Tennessee. So if you are in that area, as you can see, we've got numerous severe thunderstorm warnings taking place at this time, but we do not have too much of anything in the way of a tornado warning at this point in time. So we are continuing to see again more of this activity going on. Let me take the radar off the display right here so we can show a little bit more about where this stuff is actually going. Covington, Tennessee, there's your severe thunderstorm warning. It's in effect until 7:30 tonight. 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts possible with this storm. Damage to roofs, trees, siding, stuff like that. Gilt Edge, Burleson, Garland, Cotton Lake, Bride, Durhamville, bifocals and 2-point typeface do not mix. Gift, Tabernacle, Turnpike, Beaver, and Rialto are in the path of this particular storm. Now back up to around the area close to just north of Dyersburg. You may have the sirens going off in and around the Dyersburg area, but Dyersburg looks like it's going to miss this particular storm going on through there. What you're looking at is, again, a tornado warning. It's the only one still in effect for the Mid-South News Channel 3 viewing area. Looks like, again, the area for right now is Dyersburg down to the south of this, and that is going to be heading in the east-northeast general direction. So it's going to be going up toward Lake, Obion counties within the course of about the next several minutes, and that one will be ending here in just about a half an hour or so. So we see again, and a brand new severe thunderstorm warning just issued underneath that. Let me back out here and get a better view as to what's going on. Brand new severe thunderstorm warning. Looks like around Milan, back toward Gibson County, good portion of Haywood County, now under severe thunderstorm warnings at this time. Again, 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. The storm is moving, according to the National Weather Service, to the east at 90 miles per hour. Okay,
hello.
so that's picking up in intensity and speed for right now. Gibson County is included in this. Eastern Dyer County in the severe thunderstorm warning you see blipping on your screen for right now, but we do not have any brand new tornado warnings to talk about, at least at this point. And hopefully some good news from the Storm Prediction Center coming up relatively soon. We'll get you that information as soon as we possibly can. If you are just joining us again, that's the only tornado warning that we have in effect for the Mid-South area. Give you more of a wide berth at this point in time to show a little bit more about what's going on. More severe thunderstorm warnings for basically the same area. What is happening as this squall line makes its way on through? You've got, again, the counties under those warnings. You can see the polygons up there. This whole line now just east of the Boot Heel right into West Tennessee. And anything here that you see in the orange polygons, these are all severe thunderstorm warnings, including the one for the western environs of Shelby County and the Memphis metro area. This whole thing continues to make its way to the east. According to the National Weather Service, some of these storms are really booking at about 90 miles per hour or so. They're also decently intense. Again, getting some of these cores of rainfall out here and seeing some more intense, brief downpours popping off ahead of the area of the storm itself. So this squall line is the main thing coming on through. Once this is through, the severe weather threat will dwindle. But until this makes its way all the way through the area, we are not going to see an end to this anytime soon. So this is going to be, again, our main threat for the time being at this point. We do have reports of damage. We are sending, again, our reporters out to get an idea as to what's going on. Apparently up around the Kaiser area and close to Osceola in eastern Arkansas, there has been reports of damage at a hotel and a church, and we do not have any photographs or information from the authorities just yet. Once we get more details, we will pass that along to you. The information that we're getting is coming over the internet. Some of it's being brought to you by the law enforcement community, some by amateur radio operators, and some by the Skywarn community. So if you'd like to be a spotter, we could use you out here on nights like this to take a look and see safely what is going on. So please remember that. Gates back into the area just north of the area Brownsville, leading edge of the line now passing through Ripley. Not a lot of lightning at this time. Leading edge also now just east of Covington. So gusty winds, lots of rainfall taking place here, and severe thunderstorms possible. So debris could be flying around out there for tonight, as we've seen. And we've heard about airborne debris from the National Weather Service detected on radar possibly. So if you have any plans for getting outdoors and driving, might want to take it a lot slower wherever you're going, because you may come upon a fallen tree somewhere in the roadway, and that's, again, going to be a lot of long, boring conversations with your insurance agent. A little bit more lightning here, again, northern portions of Dyer County. That's the Dyer County line right there. Dyersburg right down that direction. Lane, Locust Grove, and Trimble. The tornado somewhere, again, just north of that line, and that's going to continue up to the northeast.
They are canceling that warning for Pemiscot and Lake counties, but they are continuing it for Dyer and Obion until 7:15. So that area that you're just pointing at still under the tornado warning.
Okay. We're getting, again, that intense amount of rainfall in here, and again, the strongest part of the storm right through here. Bit of a notch taking place right here, and that could, again, indicate where the winds are spinning around, and there's a very good couplet showing up at this time. One lightning marker. Again, not showing a lot of activity where the lightning is concerned, but you don't need an excessive amount of lightning to trigger a tornado or even have a tornado. It's just part of the environment. But right here, again, we could be looking at some possible rotation taking place right along and just north of the Dyer County line, moving its way up and into the northernmost tier of counties for parts of northwest Tennessee, eventually heading its way back up into around the area close to southwestern Kentucky, south and west of Paducah. So that's going to be not our problem coming up a little bit later. But in the meantime, Hornbeak, Troy, Mason Hall, eventually over toward Martin, south of Dixie, and eventually right on into southwestern Kentucky. We may see the storms again get a little bit more severe up that direction as we go throughout the course of the rest of the evening. This is the only tornado warning. This is the only sliver of Dyer County that is under that tornado warning at this time. So once that is expired, in about 25 minutes. We should see an end to the tornado warnings there. We're still keeping a very close eye on what's going on in West Tennessee. For those of our viewers in and around this area, again, this is the storm that has been passing on through. Most of eastern Arkansas is just plain rain right now. There's our squall line again right to the west of West Memphis, and that's going to continue its way back over to the east. So it's just west of the Junction area, and eventually this area of rainfall is going to be passing its way over the Mississippi River and into the downtown and western portions of Shelby County. That could be kind of interesting right there. That'd be interesting to check on radial velocity if we have that at some point. But in the meantime, Shelby County again, we have the possibility. We have that severe thunderstorm warning going on in the red shaded areas at this time. Yeah, I'm starting to see that. Yeah, I'm starting to agree with you on that. A little bit more of a notch showing up here. Anything along and north of I-40, west of West Memphis, may want to keep an eye on what's happening again right in this particular area. This is where we may see again an inflow taking place. This represents the possibility of winds turning in the atmosphere. There may not be anything going on. There may not have anything happen, but that signature right there that you see of that turning around, that notch, that comma shaped, is decently suspect. So we could see something here between West Memphis and Terrell, Marion, Sunset in that area. I'd be very cautious about that. Even around Millington, west of there, toward around, say, Cuba, around Bengestown, want to watch out for that as that particular cell makes its way over the river. Maybe nothing will come of this. We hope not. But again, the signatures out there are something that we definitely need to watch. Live and direct from out and about tonight in some increasingly terrible weather. News Channel 3's Troy Washington. Troy, what's going on?
Well, as you can see, the sky is still lighting up here. It's really dark on the roads. We're headed to Osceola. I've been hearing you guys mention about the church. Well, I want to correct myself. I actually mean the hotel that had the roof ripped off, so we're headed there. We were hoping to get some pictures in, but we're headed there to evaluate that damage and see what's going on there and see what other damage we might find. But as you can see, the rain's still coming down here. A lot of people using their emergency lights, slowing down. Right now, we're going about 45 miles per hour. At one point, we were going about 30, but you can barely see. There's very limited visibility on the roads right now, but we definitely will keep you updated. We are about an hour away from Osceola, so as soon as we get there, we'll have updates and the latest, and I will send in pictures and hopefully show you guys video of that damage that we've been talking about when it comes to that hotel with the roof ripped off. Now, as you mentioned, we've had several reports like in Kaiser where there's actually church damage. So we'll definitely keep you updated on all of the damage that we see along the roadway here. For now, reporting live, I'm Troy Washington, WREG News Channel 3.
All right, Troy, thank you very much. We're watching Storm Tracker 3 S radar here this evening as Troy is tracking what's going along Interstate 55 going up toward Osceola. Look at the multiple severe thunderstorm warnings that are in effect. You've got a large chunk of West Tennessee under severe thunderstorm warnings at this time, not to mention just a very small sliver of Dyer County, Tennessee, under a tornado warning. But these warnings continue all the way back across into Crittenden County, Arkansas. So these are all severe thunderstorm warnings. The one area of red that you see here, that one is the tornado warning. And so we're very busy this evening. You're not seeing anything in Mississippi right now as far as severe weather is concerned. And when you hear the tone going off in the background, as we've pointed out before, that's not the lottery numbers coming in announcing a new winner. That indicates we've got a new severe thunderstorm warning, or there is an update to an existing warning. It just lets us know to keep you up to date. And if we go back to radar now, we'll go ahead and lay in all the radar data so that you can see where this line of storms now is concentrated across parts of West Tennessee from Lauderdale County back into Tipton County, and this extends back across now and almost into a very small sliver of northwestern Shelby County, Tennessee, which is near the Millington area. It's crossing the river right now and is still just a few minutes away from